everyone! So I figured that I'd do part 1 of this vlog right now. Today I got Acowar in the mail and I am like beyond excited about it. But I can't start the book tonight because I have an exam tomorrow. I want to kind of celebrate my exams being over and start the book, so that's what I'm gonna do. But I am like so excited to start this book. I just started this book today and I'm only 35 pages into it. I'm on chapter 3 and it's already so good. Rhysand walking throughout like all the carnage and the ruin and seeing like the wings of all the Illyrians that were dead like sticking up out of like all of the dead bodies, and he was like checking all of them to make sure that they weren't Cassian and Azriel. And my heart, I really hope that that is not foreshadowing. Feyre's such a good spy so far. She is doing such a good job. I feel like she has Tamlin fooled. Lucian, I'm not sure. I don't think that he's fooled. Feyre was just having an internal battle with those twins in her head and like blocking them from her mind and Lucian and Tamlin's, and she stayed up all night to block them so that they wouldn't find out anything else. If there's anyone that she hates more than like the Spring Court and like Tamlin, it's like the King of Hybern. So she's trying to like block them all from any information that they could get. They're talking about the right. Lucian said that Tamlin refused to do it and he took his place, and Iantha was the one that he had to do it with. I am hoping that we'll get more of Rhys soon, and I'm hoping that they'll reunite sooner rather than later. I said that in my theories video. I really hope that they reunite pretty soon. Like, I don't think that I can wait very long. So I'm gonna go read more, and I will talk to you guys when I have another update. Guys, I know that this is horrible quality. I'm filming it on my phone because I'm like about to go to bed and I don't want my to take my camera out. Cassian and Azriel came to save Feyre, and she was like screaming down the mating bond to Rhys, and she thought that he couldn't hear her, and apparently he heard her because Cassian and Azriel came on in. They saved her and Lucian. Like, Feyre revealed her mating bond and said that she was a High Lady, and then they go, there is no such thing as a High Lady, and she's like, there is now. And I'm like, oh my god. And also Cassian has his wings back. Like, I feel like this is too good to be true. Like, does he actually have his wings back? Because I'm like, now they're going back to the Night Court. I was like waiting for this. This is so good. I'm like so happy right now. This like, so much is happening in this book right now. Like, so much. I can't even talk about all of it. I'm gonna go read, and I will update you guys if I have anything else to say. The Imagine Dragons album, Smoke and Mirrors, is like literally every single song on it reminds me of one of the books in A Court of Thorns and Roses, and it's so good. Just like go look it up because all of the songs really remind me of the characters, and I kind of want to like do a video on it, but I don't really know. But like all of the songs like have something to do with one of the characters, and it's just killing me. It's so good, and I've been like listening to it obsessively over the past couple days. Okay, the library scene with Rhys and Feyre is so cute. That's my favorite Rhys and Feyre part so far for sure. Rhys is telling Feyre that Cassian, like, he dared Cassian to fly down to the bottom of the library to see like what was down there, and he like flew back up and was like would not say what was down there. And I really want to know if that thing down there is gonna help with the war in some way, maybe. Then I got to the part today where they see the bone carver again, and I had a feeling that we were gonna see the bone carver again, and it turns out that the weaver and the bone carver are siblings. Why does he want this mirror, number one? What does it do? Feyre sees the bone carver, we find out, as her and Rhys's child. Love Cassian. I never really liked Nesta, so I don't really like her still. I like her banter and I like the way that she makes the other characters react to her, but I don't really like Nesta that much, which may be an unpopular opinion, but I've never really liked her sisters in general because of the way that they treated her. And I hope that Feyre seeing her and Rhys's child doesn't A, mean one of them is gonna die, or B, mean that they're gonna have a kid in this book, because I really don't want them to. It'd be okay if there's like an epilogue and they do, but like during the war, like we don't need that. And I don't want that to be an integral, important part of this book. Okay, I just had to comment on this real quick. I am reading right now, and first of all, obviously Elaine is really not doing well, and she seems like she's depressed and kind of in a similar position that Pharaoh's in A Court of Mist and Fury. And yeah, so I'm hoping that she can help her, because they were looking towards the windows and trying to keep like an eye on Elaine. Nesta really annoys me, and I just don't like her. She literally, like, Pharaoh's like, why don't you train, because then you'll be strong and you'll be able to defend yourself. And she's trying to motivate her to train, and she's like, even like, you always say that you want your enemies dead, why now you could kill them yourself because you'd be trained to do it. And then she goes, why bother when someone else can do it for me? That's what her attitude was. And they used to all live together, and Feyre did everything. Like, get over yourself, Nesta. Okay, I kind of love how Rhys doesn't really like Nesta. They just flew in to their other house, and Nesta was going with Rhys because she didn't want to go with Cassian. She was like, I need the bathroom, and she like ran to the bathroom, and then Feyre was like, what did you do to Rhys? And he was like, she said I was going too slow, so I went really fast. It just makes me laugh so much. Okay, a lot has happened since the last time I updated you guys, and I have a lot to talk about. So first of all, they went to the Court of Nightmares, and who the heck would let them into Velaris? Like, but I felt so bad for Mor, and I think Mor might be my favorite out of the inner circle, but I'm not sure. Like, I don't know. It's really hard to choose because they're all so perfect and beautiful, and like, I can't. I felt so bad for Mor at that point because first Eris came in, and after what he did to her, like, that's just horrible. She didn't even know that he was coming. Number two, her father is now allowed into Velaris with his people, and that's like her only safe haven, and it just makes me so upset for her. And she was so mad, and I totally understood that she was mad, and I was like on her side about that. I feel like Rhys should have told her, but I get why he didn't also. Just all my children, I just hate seeing them mad at each other, because then it just creates so much chaos and unneeded stress. Like, just tell each other what you're doing. Just like tell each other and communicate, because we don't want to fall apart from the inside. One of them said this before they can even get like to the war. Aside from that, we learned about Amren and kind of her backstory and how she got out of prison, because they were talking about the bone carver, and Amren found out that they went to the prison, and then they ordered her to tell them like how she got out. And if it wasn't bad enough that she could leave them, and like it would be really, really sad, but I'd be happy for her because she got to leave, it turns out that she, in order to leave the prison, had to completely, like, she had to leave behind, like, her non-emotional self, and now she can feel emotions and all that stuff. So, like, the old her was just, like, some sort of creature, demon thing that couldn't feel anything, and she had to give that up to get out, so now she can feel things and stuff like that. But they said if she is free and if she goes back into being what she was, she will forget them, she'll turn on them, and it's just, I don't need that. We don't need that. That's probably gonna happen, and I really don't want it to happen, because number one, yes, if they unleash Amren, like if they unleash her on Hybern, then hopefully that would win them the war, maybe. But first of all, we don't know what she is, and second of all, she could completely turn on them because she would forget them. So like, I can't handle this stress, I can't handle it. Anyway, so we found out that about Amren, and I'm glad that we kind of know what she is, but now I'm like upset because I don't want that to happen. In my notes I wrote, is Elaine a seer? That vision better not have been Rhys and Elaine. A couple chapters later we find out Elaine is a seer. I called it. Elaine is a seer. Totally called it, totally knew it, but I didn't know what any of her visions meant because they were very confusing. Like, she talked about the two ravens, which turned out to be those dumb twin people that came into the freaking library and attacked Nesta and Feyre, and that's one of my favorite scenes now because it was so, like, I was like on the edge of my seat, and then we found out what the thing in the library was, which I'm so happy that we know what it is, sorta. But it made a deal with Feyre, of course, because like, what would this book be without someone making a deal with someone? So it made a bargain with her, and now she has another tattoo on her left arm again. Her deal was like that she'd send someone down to like talk to it, and I was like, aw, that's kind of cute, but I feel like that's gonna backfire. Like, he's like, I just want some friends like down here, like I don't need to be freed or anything, I just want to like have a couple buddies, which seems harmless right now, but later on I feel like it's gonna come back to haunt us later on in this book, so hopefully it doesn't. Or maybe they'll throw the King of Hybern down there to give him some company. From here, I'm a little worried that we're going to see Tamlin again soon because we haven't seen him in a while. Tarquin, Tamlin, and Baron, I think that's how you say his name, are the ones that haven't responded to them yet about allying, but they have the Dawn, Day, and Winter courts as allies already, so that's good. Now we have Night, Day, Dawn, and Winter on our side. Probably, my guess is, obviously Tamlin's not going to ally with them, like, no. I feel like Tarquin's going to ally with us. I hope Tarquin will ally with us. I feel like the threat of Hybern is more important than his Blood Ruby deal with Feyre and Rhys and Amren. So, before I mentioned Elaine is a seer, I predicted that, I knew that she was a seer, but she has this one line that she says, she's talking to Cassian, and she says, like, he broke your bones and shredded your wing, or something like that, and he says, it'll take much more than that to kill me, and she says, no it won't, and I'm like, does that mean that Cassian's gonna die? Okay, so far predictions for people who aren't gonna make it through the book. I think Amren is going to forget everyone. I don't want that to happen, but I can survive through that. It's just like so sad, but I think that she's gonna forget everyone. Cassian, maybe he's gonna die now that we know that whole thing. So those are the things that I think are gonna happen. Now I amend my statement that I made in my A Court of Wings and Ruin predictions video, where I thought that one of her sisters, either Elaine or Nesta, was gonna die, because I don't think either of them are gonna die. I think that they're both gonna live through the book. As for the rest of the group, which is Rhys, Feyre, and Azriel, hoping that they'll be okay. Gonna put a happy face on and hope that everything will be fine. So I'm gonna finish uploading my video, and then I'm probably gonna read after I upload it. So a little behind the scenes action over here. Right now, a bunch of stuff is happening. I don't even know like where to start. So we found out that like Lucien is Hellion's son. So he's not actually fully from the Autumn Court. He is part from the Day Court. Like, also makes sense. I kind of like had like a weird like feeling that Lucien wasn't like the same as like his brothers, and he's not. So we learned that, and that all happened. Tamlin still sucks, so he went to the meeting and then basically just went back and told Hybern everything and like betrayed them. Didn't expect anything different from Tamlin, to be honest. But now I am at all of like the battle parts, and they're getting so intense. The Suriel died, and I'm so upset. His death like was so beautifully done, and Feyre's involvement in it was just, it was really sad, but I think it was really well done. And I like how it kind of brought it full circle in a way, but it's really sad because he's been with us since the first book, and he has always helped Feyre, and a lot of the quotes in that part are just so sad and so like bittersweet, and I'm just really sad about the Suriel, but he was one of my favorite characters other than the Suriel. So Feyre and Nesta just like went to like locate the cauldron, like and Feyre brought Iantha into the Weaver, and the Weaver killed her, and I'm just like, yes, like, yes. That part was like one of my favorite parts of this book. So now Feyre and Nesta went to like track the army and like find the cauldron, and while they were like in the cauldron's like mine, Cauldron decided to retaliate and take Elaine. So now Elaine is in the Hybern camp, which Elaine hasn't really been doing much this whole book, and Elaine is not like in the best place. I'm kind of like, I'm worried about her obviously because she's with Hybern, but I'm even more worried about her because she's not like in a good mental state, and like even being like in the Illyrian camps like hasn't been like the best thing for her. So Azriel and Feyre just went to go save her, and Feyre's like disguised as Iantha. I hope that everything goes well in this chapter with Hybern, and I hope that they can successfully get Elaine back and get themselves back. So that's where I'm at right now. I love Amren and Varian, and they're so cute. I just finished the book, and I wanted to say that I'm actually surprisingly happy with the ending. I thought I was going to be really upset, and I thought that the ending was going to be really devastatingly sad, and that I would not be able to recover from it. But I honestly, like, there were like so many things happened at the end, like with chapter 77. We'll just leave it at that. That whole scene was very emotional, and I cried during that scene. And when Feyre, Nesta, and Elaine's dad named his ships after them and like brought his army to help them, and when Miriam and Draken showed, I don't know how to say his name, but when Miriam and Draken showed up, but it all worked out at the end. And Rhys had the same moment that Feyre had in the first book when he died and was brought back to life, and that was just so bittersweet because like Feyre, like it brought it full circle because that happened to Feyre in the first book, and the same thing happened to Rhys in this book, and he got brought back too. The whole thing with Amren and how she like betrayed Feyre and like unleashed herself, but then she ended up coming back at the end like out of the cauldron somehow, but now she's like not that creature anymore, so now she doesn't drink blood anymore and stuff. But I still really want to know what she was. Like, we didn't really know, like we saw her, but like I feel like I don't know what she was. Like, I don't know. So Feyre's father's death was really sad. There were a couple sad moments, but I think in the end, like, I'm really satisfied with the ending, and I'm happy. Like, it's bittersweet. I'm really sad that this is the end of Feyre's point of view, but I really love the way that she ended it, and I think that it was like the perfect ending to an amazing series, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out, because I thought that basically like a lot of the characters were gonna die, and I thought that Amren was gonna die when that happened. I knew Rhys wasn't dead, but I didn't know like how they were gonna bring him back, and I loved how they did the same thing that they did with Feyre to bring back Rhys. So I really liked the ending, so that's why I'm not like all crying and stuff at the end of this. I did cry during the part with Rhys, and how Feyre was crying, even though I knew that he would come back. I can't really formulate my thoughts properly. I thought I just saw a bug. I just finished it like 10 minutes ago, but I can say that I'm satisfied with the ending. I'm happy with how things ended and how the scenes that we got at the end of their family and Valeris, and they're all together, so like what more could you want? And I liked how the people that we like thought were enemies, like Jurian and kinda Tamlin, still hate him though, like came and helped them in the end. Like Baron, Lucian's father helped them at the end, and Jurian actually was a good guy, and I actually really like him now, and Tamlin helped save Rhysand, even though I still hate Tamlin because of what he did to Feyre, but I think that ultimately he did the right thing, and that was nice to see. Still kind of wish he suffered a little more. I'm gonna leave the rest of my thoughts for my review, which will be coming within the next couple weeks. So I'm gonna leave you guys now, and I will get back to you guys with my thoughts in a more coherent review. If you liked it, please feel free to give this video a thumbs up, and you can also subscribe down below if you want to see more of my videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye!